Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 9.11, and of course we're playing as Nihon, Nippon, Japan. Okay, let's continue this. We are getting ready. I decided to build some more infantry divisions. I wanted to build some more specialized light infantry, but they were going to be, instead of 135 days, they were going to be 225 days to build, and either slightly more expensive or fewer support units. Either way, to keep the price down, so wanted them in time for early invasions in late 41 or very early 42. Okay, artillery unit training, very good. Then we'll move that over to recon. And we're going to, now that we've had this sort of annual national focus. Okay. We can build up, big fleet means victory, so national manpower, I believe that's what we did last time. Build up big army, we must defeat China or perish. We've already done that, but we could use well, no, we're doing very good on manpower actually. We don't need manpower. Air and naval building speed, we don't need the increase there. And since this doesn't increase land building. Okay, forget the military, build up our economy. More ICs would be good. If we were particularly if we were cranking out more ICs, that would be good. That's obviously what I do for sure the first 2 years of, almost 3 years of playing as Germany, but we're not doing that. Build a balance, which, okay. So, national manpower, but no bonuses. Science focus, efficiency production down, health and education. That's nice for a nation going to be remaining at peace. I don't see an air power one here though. Okay, what's that? Sort of balance is meant to be the air power. Resources, obviously, if we wanted to build up resources. We've got pretty good resources, not great. It could be a late war thing, maybe, if we're not doing well. Airland build. Armor build, that doesn't really matter. We are building 3 specialized armor unit, or armor things to attach to other things. Don't examine our military factories event. Plus 10 manpower. Percent manpower. It's only half as much manpower, but we are continuing to build up a lot, even with all of that. Air build is down, which I don't like. Let's see what build balance looks like. Okay, so we can go and choose another if we want to. Boost. This I never want to do. Unless I'm, for some reason, in the last year of the war and just need to spam out things. Because once this is over, then we lose the bonuses and we don't get any of the continuing things here. But here we get armaments factories, tank factories, aircraft, and a shipyard. Could have used more shipyards, but less tank factories. I would have, for Japan, which this may be just a standardized thing, but for Japan I would have maybe given them 1 tank factory but 2 shipyards. But I think we'll deal with this because we want to get aircraft in production as well. So that is useful, I think. I think that's what we're going to do here. Because in essence that is what we are trying to do, is building a balanced force with the balance for Japan and what's going on here, as opposed to, that's the other thing I want to deal with. Okay, infantry unit combined arms advance, very good. Yeah, 42, that's way too much in advance. And yeah, we'll do that. Just okay. Anti-air cruisers. Presumably this is a cruiser with a lot of anti-aircraft guns on it. Okay, so we want to do that, and that I believe is a one and done under cruiser. Yep. And transport ship engines have advanced. Okay, I think we will. I know it increases range, but we're not. I don't think we're going to push forward on it now. But we're now in 41 officially and fully, and yeah, let's see about doing that. Now, the other thing I want to do here is look at getting a few of these things. Anti-air is air defense here. It's 35 versus a regular's 28, 27. Okay, it's basically the best anti-air thing out there. Okay. And they're fairly cheap, so let's do 6 of these. Let's do 8 of these. Now, if they're immediately in production, they'll be in June. Yeah, we're going to move them to the top. I want to spread 1 or 2 of them around to some of our major fleets. And I think that will help. And getting those pushed through, we may do a second round of them. Because if things go very well to mildly well, we won't have all of our fleets sunk, and continued production after the war proper starts in the Pacific War I'm referring to. We give them money for energy. No, thank you. Would help us. I think yes. Easier. So R. Put that there. Now we have combined arms bonus, and no, not them. These guys, they can come over here. Okay, we are going to pick up airborne, 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 airborne. Onboard ships. Yes, down here with our Marines, actually. I may see about moving my Marines somewhere else. Okay, I'm waiting for that to happen, just because, like I said in the past, if I've selected the selection prior to it, national recruiting policy, sometimes that still happened. Okay, close air support prototypes. Yes, good. We're gonna stop that. Gun turrets? Sure. Let's do that. And so we will do this, and again we're going to balance the pros, just my preference, and I also think reasonably fits with what most nations were doing. I'm going to give them a little bit of money for metal from Brazil. No thank you. Okay, we've lost the effects. Got to make sure you read that carefully. And an uprising here in a province that we have an HQ in there. I guess you'll add to the attack and make it better. Soviet Union, give them, okay, that's even better. Closer to home. Okay, how far down are we on the build? Okay, we're still getting most of the flying boats. Want to get these fairly quickly, but well, these will be happening soonish, which will free up some resources. I am building those 2 battleships, but that's gonna be it for proper battleships, other than given by event and not costing too much, I hope. Now, how is the Greater European Theater? Okay, the British have pushed the Italians fully out of British territory there, and how are the Germans? They're just sort of hanging out up here in the Winter Wonderland. Okay. Direct fire combined arms. Now, maybe the best Winter Wonderlands are places like Hawaii, in which it's all nice and warm. Yeah, I know. Okay, unit training, we have very little armor, but mostly light. We'll keep that. We have very little combined arms, or none, I don't think. Spearhead doctrine, combat with armor, desert rats, SS light armor. Light armor, yeah, okay, maybe we'll do that. Now, shock and blitz +1. Yeah, we'll do that. Armor unit training. That's which I think unlock that. Just getting enough. Here, done. Okay, and that is done. Okay. Come on, we want to slowly bring that down. I just really, quite honestly, don't want to make it any worse, and hopefully we'll get an event or 2 that will reduce it down. Okay, money for energy, too little from Ecuador. Well, for a while we're at peace, that'll be useful. Okay, we just had infantry radio communications. Again, that affects too many units for it to display properly, so we'll stop that. Yeah, no industrial zone. So we are seeing armored units, motorized units, including ones with half tracks, sitting out here facing my relatively cheap militia units. I don't know how good the AI is at understanding the strength of units. I know it can do some of that, I believe. I say no, and then I believe it can do some of that, but it may not have as good of radar interception intelligence to see what kind of quality it is, and so it might think they're more, or higher, more effective than they are, and even if it's accurately seeing it, it may still just give it more, okay, yes, give it more weight than it should. As an Axis country on its flank out here, no. And similarly out here. So yeah, these kind of units, well, the worst sort of thing is that, from their point of view, is they can't actually touch us, at least not now, or as it currently is. I think there may be an event once we go to war with the Soviets to remove this block, but I'm not sure if there is or not. Lack of infrastructure, making the border smaller. There is a sort of a point to it, to make it defensible for Manchukuo, I believe, is the primary. But if it were just sort of having even units, there are border spots that can't be attacked, just whatever, that's one thing. If they were wasting garrison units out here, I wouldn't be thinking that it's doing so bad, but because it's also sticking armor units and other things out here, yay. Okay, night combat training, I believe that is for naval operations, so we've maxed that. Japan did have, and probably some of the best training programs for naval night actions. The US, simply by fighting in the war, got better, plus they also had radar, which made them supremely better. But even when you have radar, there, in some cases, not just Americans, but Americans even with some radar, were shooting at some of their own ships at some of the more confusing night actions. But even not even just recognizing the enemy, the blips on the screen may sort of kind of tell you where they are and help direct the guns, but there's still a lot to be training for at night. And I don't know how much sailors or ships as a crew got trained for overall at night operations, as opposed to simply experience in the war at night got them good. I do, as I'm saying all this, I do know that they had one light carrier. I think it was the Independence, but I'm not sure. One light carrier who was specifically set up for night naval air operations, including the pilots, and the pilots to be able to take off and land on their carrier at night. They'd have to, I think, light the carrier up, make it a target, but mostly they didn't do light carriers up at night. There is one famous case in which they did a bunch of things. Well, all the ships in the fleet turned on their lights, which caused a problem for the pilots coming in. I think there were 2 or 3 incidences in which pilots tried to land on battleships because they couldn't tell the difference from the light. Oh, they didn't actually like touch down or even crash into the battleship, but they were coming in for a landing, thinking that all the bright lights sort of light up and shoot up into the sky. They have the ships, generally speaking, had bright searchlights, and the idea is at night you put them on the enemy and you light up the enemy with them. Now, of course, the enemy sees where the light is coming from and they get to shoot back at that too. So it's more like, oh, guys are looking through night glasses, which are specifically glasses designed to look at things at night in the dark, and think they see a ship out there, and then go, okay, there's a ship, and everybody agrees there's a ship out there. Okay, turn on your lights, your big spotlights, light that ship up to sort of like see what it is, because most of the time ships aren't out there alone, like no other friendlies around us. Normally you're out there in a group, and just to make sure you're not shooting at friendlies, because obviously once you start shooting at night, you start having big bright flashes going off, so people sort of see where you are anyways. So you don't keep your searchlights on searching for things at night. You have them there ready to turn on to identify targets. And also, even with radar, even with everything else, you want to see the splashes of where your shells are hitting to better judge the speed and direction of the enemy. And that's also, again, another thing, because you may see an outline, not a clear outline, but an outline of a ship. And you may know, oh my God, that's got to be a battleship or a carrier or something big. And while we have our destroyers, so we know that's an enemy. And you very well may be right about it. But which is the front end and which is the back end? So which is the direction they're going? And as they're not always, straight on to the side, are they going which direction, right or left to you, but are they going more away from you or more towards you? And just sort of what kind of speed they're going. You can sort of tell by the wake that's created in front of them, with put a bigger light on it. And so you sort of get better aiming information when you got them all light up and you can see the ship clear. And then as the hopefully shells are coming down nearby, you can see the splashes better to see, oh, we need to lead the target a little bit more or a little less or whatever. So they still needed all these bright searchlights at night to be able to do that. And then once you're sort of like done shooting, you turn them off quickly so that somebody else doesn't shoot at you, and then you turn them back on and you turn them off, and that kind of thing. And so you're doing that. Well, the carriers and the battleships turned their lights on and pointed them up into the sky to sort of like, hey, we're here, aircraft, find us, generally speaking. But a big battleship with its lights on and a carrier with its lights on, you're sort of almost blinding the pilot in a way because it's too bright. But you know where to come in at. And as they got in close, they realized that nope, that's a wrong ship. And there was even one pilot that came in and to not a battleship, but to a carrier. And I forget if he actually touched down or not. I don't think he did, because he didn't hit any arresting wires. Everybody realized as he's coming in, that's a Japanese fighter trying to land on our carrier. The Japanese realizes it and pulls and takes and goes out. No one knows what happened to him. He probably crashes at sea, because when reading it, they were really far. They were rather far away from the Japanese carriers at the time, and I would be surprised that he had enough fuel after the operations and being sort of lost and seeing the bunch of lights, thinking that it may be its own carrier coming in, and then deciding, nope, and going away, that he would still have enough fuel to get back to land or to get back to a Japanese carrier. But I don't know what happened to him. But yep, they almost captured a Japanese plane landing on their deck. That would have been a little something. Okay, let's see. So we're now 41. Let's go for a long, expensive one to get these things started here. Trade interdiction, because we wouldn't mind having unrestricted submarine warfare ourselves, and we needed this at least 2. So let's get that going. And mobile unit training. We've got a few mobile units that, mech, motorized, battalion, cavalry. Got a lot of that. That it helps, yes, but everybody has artillery that helps, so I want to push. Well, almost everybody. Obviously, the militia divisions out here don't, and the cavalry divisions around here don't. And I have not been needing them for partisan activity, so maybe I should move. I mean, obviously, we have a little bit going on here, but maybe I should move a few more, either to the Soviet border or... Because the cavalry, cavalry might be useful coming down in Australia, but it isn't really going to be useful in much of the other areas. Speed is nice, but it's not going to be that much more speed. Mobile unit command and control. Especially once they start hitting real enemy forces, their fairly light forces won't be that effective. Much more these guys. So yeah, let's grab this all, and we'll take the whole bunch of you. No, we won't take the whole bunch of you. Okay, oh, pause. Okay, we're good. Pause. We'll come back to that. Okay, disconnect. That's too far away. Cat's getting ready to go to India. Okay, we'll take the rest of you here. Send you down to here. The reason I'm sending them down to here is because if I want to send them up to here, except, well, this is obviously the command unit, or its higher ranking authorities up here, which I know it's set up as sort of, I think, Manchukuo and occupation stuff. It's going to be quicker and easier to send them up here via, actually it might be a good idea to build a port there, but either a port here or some other place, then we can get them up there quick, fairly quick at least. Okay, mountain unit training. And so, like I said, those units are, you know, relatively effective against. Yeah, we'll let it continue. Chinese part are militias and whatnot, but and partisans, yeah, but we're just not facing that much, so I just don't think I need it. Okay, TAC, ground crew. Yeah, okay. That's good or good enough for now. Let's try to focus on some better. Okay, battleship crew training. Yeah, let's get our battleships up. As we talked about in last episode, battleships are big capital investments, and we don't want to lose them for poor training, where I'd rather lose a couple of destroyers for poor training. Right now, well, that's looking fairly decent. We're going to have some more. Those are just the HQs to reorganize some of this. Okay, we won here. Okay, you stop going there now. Okay, and port strike events. Very good. Okay, I think we're going to stop that. And then let's move that over here. Keep these guys improving. Now we've got a lot of para units down here, and obviously we can use them as paratroopers. I mean, that's more than obvious, but they can also be used as, I believe, relatively, oh, they're already attached to it, relatively decent Marines as well. You know, just simply naval invasions. There we go. There's a Marine Corps of 5 divisions and a Airborne Corps of 5 divisions. No. Okay, rolling artillery barrages to 4. Well, we'll stop that. Mentioning artillery. Okay, we've got that. Yeah, that'll affect a lot of our defensive garrisons on islands and places. Now, how's production? Okay, good. We've gotten into some of these producing. Very good. No. Okay, TAC pilot training. Good, and that we're going to move over to nav air ground training. Ah, and I remembered just now, I did send out, not to there apparently. No. Guess not there. Where did I send them? Here. These guys. I decided. Pretty big group of naval bombers. I just wanted to fully escort them. I wasn't sure out here. These are naval bombers. Okay. Okay, that tells me how far out. So they can come out to there and operate. Now, how far can these guys operate? Not nearly so far. So these, I'm very much planning on shifting forces around, and this is sort of to be a, you know, we can see here, heavy operational force in this area. And of course we may, if we want them a little bit further away, we can move them out, obviously. But here, this was sort of meant to, you know, operate out here as much as anything else, to expand the area of operation. These guys don't have any air, so this is sort of what we've been dropping most of the I don't know. I'm not sure what we're going to do maybe with these guys. We may just keep them out here as something of a separate unit to intercept anything. I think I still have more, yeah, a bunch more in production. Okay, we're going to end the episode here. I want to thank you so much for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. I really do appreciate that. Haven't already, please subscribe if you made it this far. And I really love hearing from you. So make a comment of some sort. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.